Howdy. Have you been doing poorly in this game? A lot of critics have pointed their daggers at this refined classic, and I suspect it's because they've been using the wrong hand for the joystick and haven't witnessed related videos on YouTube about use for the 5200. 5200 as so. Not having learned Japanese and written Japanese characters can be a factor, in addition to easier means of destruction. We're talking about a system that died long ago before it could get enough fashion for its innovation. People can be clueless without fashion because bias is often an indicator of thankless grace before even the light of the spectrum into colors collapses on our darkness for mortal Earth's changing pieces of nature like the 5200 joystick. Since it's something akin to a controller for controllers, pieces to pieces, as evidenced in a joystick that can act and reveal different movement and functions on those certain circumstances. Analog tracking, digital tuning, swift pauses, prolonged action, with the keypad adding to Frogger's odd joystick situation by showing 4 keys for another position. Keypadding. Keypadding here. It's like keyboarding, but with a smaller keyboard called a keypad. Numbers line each other between 0 and 9 and leave 2 other keys in place. There's no ABC, but there's 1, 2, 3. 2 is up, 4 is left, 6 is right, and 8 is down. And that leaves 3 fingers on the first 3 numbers, with exception to 8. 3 as in like this for playing Frogger. And that leaves 3 fingers on the first 3 numbers, mentioned with exception to 8, which is pressed by any finger. What results in Frogger happens to be picture perfect. Animals, cars, natural objects are given an 8-bit lift. Colors zoom here and there, leaving so much to the imagination, and the natural objects don't have ridiculous HD you see in poorly designed video games in the modern times. Just those 2 Frogger games I've reviewed for the Wii had differences against each other. One good, one bad. Neither of those Wii games can be with the other. Frogger for the Atari 5200 is a true, excellent 8-bit game, although my odd joystick situation, joystick fire buttons, leaves me with more to be desired. Whatever that's desired comes my way, and I find myself edging against the TV with a sharp grin under my milky mustache, gazing into the colors and studying along the shapes and sizes given on my TV in retro-style fashion to click red rubber buttons with such tactical feedback, such reliable bouncing between my fingers and the red pieces. The whole Frogger world almost cries with such sweet horror in its visualized hat. A long, winding road across from nests into which your green hero or frog must excavate for leaves rather than predatory vehicles. most animals, and small rippling tides. Maybe I'm expressing so much from what excitement there is. I hop, hop, I hop. I get along into the world. I've done well with both hands on my joystick, although my left hand seems the best. My Atari 5200 joystick has parts in it from Japan, so how does a Japanese hand compare to an English hand? The Japanese write thousands of more letters and alphabets than the English do, and both sides play video games. English speakers, Japanese speakers. So there's got to be some significant differences between English gamers and Japanese gamers as far as what their hands are doing. Just when you look at the English alphabet, obviously, it's like there's only I don't know, what 26 letters or something. I forget, but it's not like thousands of Japanese characters on some weird foreign movie you might watch with Godzilla. Now, call my analysis typography on video games, because my realization of these facts, I believe the critics who point their daggers at Frogger and fail to realize the Japanese parts are racists, since they've become ignorant of what goes into their hands. They're culturally blind in that sense. Imagine getting into the Japanese language. Watashi wa, like I have, as many Californians have, and getting lost in the flavors observed in Japanese language, where even common sense can't be translated. Realization of what I can and can't do makes me less assuming. I know I'm not supposed to, criticize this poor guy, and it is if it's totally American, but it's not totally American. I mean, you can even look at it, And Frogger's concept itself was made by Konami and other companies, including Japanese interest. Not to mention, there's more than what meets the eye in terms of gaming values for Frogger. A purple queen can bite the dust. A racing car can lose bits of its speed of light against 8-bit glory. More nests get threatened from the oncoming logs and disputable floating shells. Gamers of the Atari 5200 are considered a minority in my book, for which I'm included in the joystick keypad action. However, there was still some of that same Atari 2600 popularity in Atari 5200, and sales at times proved it enough. So, there's something included in the joystick keypad action. Joystick, keypad. If you're an owner of any video game system that wasn't successful in its era of release, you are in a minority. Because gamers can own both successful and unsuccessful video games, they can belong to majorities and minorities as far as console wars go. Do any of you still remember Pong? Did you know that Pong was not really all that successful, really? Just in case you do not know. Still, there's a lot to remark on when concerning some of the repair guys of 52 joysticks on eBay. They mix old and new parts. Our controllers can wear down easier through the mixture of old and new parts. As such, mixing can be, blasphemous. But, who is the other critic to go around here? And I hope you enjoy this controller, of course, and Frogger. I mean, it does play different from the arcade, but when you think about it, um, I mean, a heavy arcade machine cannot fit in your house, and obviously there are specific functions that only a heavy arcade machine can do. Atari systems for the home were more like VHS players in essence, where it's like they're just light boxes. Light boxes. Light boxes you put on shelves, for your TV center with those rabbit ears coming out of the gray window screen. And definitely, I think Frogger does represent a lot of that, 80s time of, that retro gaming boredom in terms of, maybe some obsolete memories of the circus and such. And thankfully, the Atari 5200 version of Frogger does not play that annoying circus music from the original Frogger. Remember the original Frogger music in the arcade? The music was like circus music, my frog dying, crocodiles biting his tail, logs sinking in the river. Yeah, it makes me imagine clowns sinking in Yosemite Falls somewhere in California. It's kind of sad. At least you take care, and hopefully the happy holidays will come roaring in for us, and you will enjoy your retro gaming just as much as I do. And if you have any questions, just type in comments or send me a message on DeviantArt, and we'll be okay. Take care. Have a good one.